Welcome to the Awakened Anesthetist podcast. I'm your host, Mary Roberts. I'm a certified anesthesiologist assistant living and working outside of Kansas City, Missouri. I created this podcast to give CAAs across the nation a place to come together and awaken to our profession's unique ability to create a life by design rather than default. That process can start by simply listening and engaging with this podcast. By doing so, you're already changing what's possible for CAAs, for you, for me, for all of us. I'm so thankful you're here. Let's jump into this episode and see what we can do together. Hello again. Welcome to the Awakened Anesthetist podcast. If you're new, welcome. If you've listened to the earlier episodes, thank you so much for returning. I hope you're enjoying the content. Telling your anesthesia friends, subscribing, leaving a rating and review, all of those things are going to help me and you as CAAs get the word out about our profession, create more opportunities for us, and expand what's possible. You are about to listen to the first mindfulness episode of this podcast, and I developed this mindfulness exercise to help bring clarity and calm amidst the pressures of anesthesia school for my CAA students. I was a clinical preceptor in the operating room for more than 10 years, so I have seen many students struggle and crack under the pressure that is largely inherent and designed into the program. And although a lot of that stress and pressure is inevitable because ultimately we are learning how to keep people alive under anesthesia, and that's no small feat, I do believe that there are things we can do and mindsets that we can take that can help us cope and remember that we are more than just our achievements. I created this episode to help the me of many years ago that was once a CAA student herself and struggling to get the grades, struggling to get the validation and approval from my clinical instructors. I can remember that one bad day in the operating room or classroom could really cripple my confidence and send me into a spiral of anxiety that spilled over into the next day and the next day. So I crafted this mindfulness exercise to break that cycle and remind you and me that we are more than just our achievements. Since it's the first one of these mindfulness exercises, I'm giving you some tips in the beginning, some insights into how I practice mindfulness personally, and then some suggestions on how to approach this process if you are new to mindfulness. I know it took me a different approach, a different perspective to finally realize that when I think of someone able to do mindfulness, that I'm thinking of myself and that it is possible for my analytical and skeptical anesthesia brain to slow down enough and to buy into this idea that mindfulness is for me as well. Mindfulness begins and ends with the simple act of becoming aware of the you at the present moment. It is no more complicated than that. So to do that, we're going to have to allow ourselves to get curious about this process of slowing down, of not achieving, of being much more than doing, and allowing ourselves to be okay that for the next few moments, the next few minutes, you're just going to be breathing and feeling and learning more about yourself, and that is enough. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're taking this time to tap into your most authentic self and to get curious about this journey. So let's take the next few moments to get comfortable. You can be standing, you can be seated, you can be in the car driving to work right now. Wherever you are, this is possible, but I just want you to get as comfortable as possible and try to turn your focus onto just one or two things, especially if you're driving. Please do not lose focus. But if it's possible to tune out the sights and sounds around you by closing your eyes or darkening the room or softly focusing on just something in front of you, anything to help your mind quiet is going to allow you to be more still. So please get into whatever position helps you do that now. Oftentimes, I do meditations or practices such as these with my legs up the wall. So I sit down on the ground next to a wall and put my back on the floor and my legs up the wall It helps blood flow and circulation. It creates a sense of energy after you're done. And it just feels like it's really doing two good things at the same time. So certainly I invite you to do that if you like. Once you're in that comfortable position, I just want you to take an inventory of the way your body feels right now, the thoughts that are going on through your mind. No need to push thoughts away, but I just want you to become aware of how your body's feeling and what your mind's doing right now. If this feels uncomfortable for you, which it did for me when I was first starting, you can focus on your breathing. Breathing is a direct link to our parasympathetic system. And if we can turn the volume up on our parasympathetic system, it allows our minds to quiet. It allows our physical bodies to slow. And it turns down that fight or flight reaction from our sympathetic system, which can give you an overall feeling of ease and more stillness. To activate your parasympathetic system, you can take a big, deep inhale. As you fill your lungs with air, you're stretching the receptors on the tips of your lung tissue, which send a neural signal back up through the vagus nerve to your brainstem. And it starts a cascade of events back down your vagus nerve and starts to activate the parasympathetic system. You can also take a deep, long exhalation. Doing so increases the positive pressure in our chest cavity. And as CAA students, you know that decreases preload. So our heart rate slows in order to give more filling time to maintain our cardiac output. That slowing of heart rate stimulates our parasympathetic system and again can create an overall sense of ease and growing contentment. And that is why deep breathing, a big inhale, and a longer, slower, deeper exhale can feel good and feel calming. Once you know that, it's a little easier for our skeptical anesthesia brains to allow our bodies to start to feel slower and more at ease, and know that it's just our neurobiology and our human physiology allowing us to feel this way. Let's take 3 more big, deep breaths and see if you can feel your sympathetic system turning down and your parasympathetic system turning up. Now that we find ourselves in a deeper state of ease, check back in with your body and see if you can again take inventory of the way your physical body is feeling, the thoughts running through your mind, any anxieties or worries, have they reduced? Are you more uncomfortable now or less? simply becoming aware of the you that is occurring right now is the proper thing you're supposed to be doing right now. And sometimes as CAA students, we need the permission to know we're doing the right thing. And the most beautiful thing about a mindfulness exercise is at the moment you notice what you're doing the right thing. It is nothing more specific or grandiose than just the idea that you are aware of who you are and how it feels to be you right now. Let's take the next minute to just feel what it feels like to be you. You can continue with the deep inhales and the long, slow exhales to keep promoting your parasympathetic system to grow that sense of ease and contentment. I will ring a bell at the end of this exercise. Feel free to extend this exercise as you see fit, or come up when the bell rings and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.